Malcolm, according to Pete, will only be your third Grand National runner, but click the clock back to 1978 and you're actually associated with a Grand National winner.
Yeah, I travelled overseas today. We took 2 for the race, him and Tamlin.
Trained by Gordon Richards, of
Both
course,
trained
in
by
your
Gordon.
native Cumbria.
Yeah. And I and the head lad in the yard, Colin Parker, had a little side bet which would finish in front of each other. And Lucius was always a favourite of mine. He used to drop you. He could, if you said you know, get off. Not necessarily, but if he dropped a shoulder, you went off. You
right.
know. But he did it to a few people, like,
yeah.
you know, like not just me, a few people. But he was always that little bit clever, you know. He always, if you didn't put his bottom bolt on, he'd be out.
Yeah. And
he'd be down in village some days, you know, with his, you know, the once rang up and said, "Oh, there's a horse down here on Village Green. He's got his pyjamas on. He had his rugs on, like,
right.
you know." And another day when I was going racing to Ayr, somebody hadn't put his bottom. At Gordon's, he used to come around, and Lord and wagon was in front of the place, and he come around with his shades on and went in wagon. He wasn't even running, you know, but he was that type of horse, like, yeah. You know. Yeah, he's a grand horse, a lovely horse, and he had a lovely ornament certificate as well.
So we move on to 2012, and according to Pete, as I said, only your third runner in the race as a trainer. Do you feel he's the type, Malcolm?
Well, we've always thought he's clever. He's always been a grand little jumper, and he's not extravagant. You know, if you watch him jump, and he doesn't spend too much time in the air. He doesn't give them, you know, he doesn't ever catch himself. You know, you never come back and he has any scratches on his back legs or anything. Right. He's one of them horses that he's clean over a jump, although he doesn't go, you know, he doesn't waste any time in the air, but he gets in, he pops and he jumps, and you can say that around Haydock, like, you know, he'll just go in and, you know, and he's jumped around Haydock a few times, and Haydock's always been, and more this year than probably last 2 or 3 years, but they've got the Haydock fences more back to what they used to be, yeah. You know, and he jumps well, and I just think that he's a horse that's probably clever enough to go around Liverpool, you know.
And even though he's shown some of his best form making the running, it's more, I think, from what I've seen of him, sort of getting bowling along and just in his nice comfort zone rather than having to make the running. Is that how you see him?
Yeah, like at Haydock when he won Peter Marsh, he didn't make running that day. He was always second or third, you know, and Harry could do that on him, you know. All I've said to Harry, we've sort of talked about it, is just go a little bit wide early and, you know, just let him get into his position. Let the race just how he gets into the position, because he likes to be up there, you know, and once the race sort of settles down, I think he'd be happy away even if he was 5th or 6th, you know. I don't think he has to be bang up there, but if he was, it wouldn't matter, you know. He's a horse that, I think if he gets around, you know, if you get up at first 3 or 4 fences, I think will be great, you know. He'll get into his own rhythm, and then after that it's in the lap of the gods, isn't he, because you know what the Nationals like, you know, everything has to go right for him, and he hasn't to get brought down, and Harry has to stay on him, and you know, it's you know what can happen. Yeah. You're saying what happened to Tony McCoy one year when he was going well, no shoot across in front of him, you know. Yeah. You know, there's so many things has to go right, but you know, I always think that somebody has to win it as well, you know, and you know, over the years I've been in the game for 40 odd years now, and I've seen all sorts win it. I've seen amateurs win it. I've seen horses at 100 to 1 win it. I've seen all sorts, you know. So it isn't a race that you've really got to say, well, I'm not taking him because he has no chance. Yeah. But if I thought he had no chance, he wouldn't be going anyways. You know, I think it's sort of he's worth giving that chance to, because he has nice form. He's always had nice form, and if things went right, I think he could run a good race. And touching on that nice form, quite remarkable now at the age of 11, so he's in the autumn of his career, and he's gone up to a mid-140s. I think he was just a touch higher immediately after his previous win. That's the highest rating he's had in his career, surely? Yeah, but you've got to remember that at Wetherby, he got £8 for nothing, because I ran him out at handicap, but I thought he had to run really, because when I looked at the race, I thought, you've got to run, Pete, you know, you like Wetherby. looking at the top, you're getting all that weight on heavy ground. So Mr. Handicapper said, come to us at Cheltenham, I think. He said, you've put him up 8 and I'll put him up 8. So we didn't quite put him up 8, but he put him, you know, so he got £8 for being out of the handicap. And then he won at Haydock, so he had to put him up again, you know, which they do. I think he's brought him down £1 or 2 since, but like he isn't really that high a horse, Tom. Like I know that, Pete knows that as well, you know. Like if you take that little fella, like he's competed in a lot of good handicaps. After he won his novices, after he ran well in his handicap hurdles, won 3 novice chases, he went up the weights, and then you go to Cheltenham, places like that, and he just can't compete with, you know, you know, he just can't compete. And that's top and bottom of it. You know, he runs well, finishes 5th or 6th, but that isn't like winning a race, is it?
No.
You know, like you come home and you say he ran well, but nobody's interested in about running well, are they? You know, they're only interested in winning. You win or lose, yeah. So, but he's been a smashing horse, you know.
Well, it's a wonderful story and a wonderful tale, in as much as that Peter Nelson bred him, he owns him, he carries his name according to Pete as well.
That's right.
And he's still there now. As I say, he's had a long career, successful career. He's won a heap of prizes.
Oh, he has, And I had his mother as well, I trained her. She won us 7 races, you know, so it's been great. It's been a great story. And when he was born down at in Cheltenham at Sweetings, Chris Sweeting called him, and we went down to see him. God, it was like well, I think I've had a dog bigger than him at times when he was born. He was that small. He used to run in and out under his mother, you know. And all when you looked over the door, looked at him, there's this big white face, you know. He was the comeliest looking thing you ever could come across. But he's had a character all his life. You know, he has some character, that horse, you know, like even now, like, you know, he gets fit, fresh and fit, and at top of that gallop he'll come off and like he'd bloody drop you as soon as look at you, you know, he would, like, you know, he's just one of them horses, and if he whips around, he can whip around, like, you know, and if anything startles him, you know, like, he doesn't need much to set him off, you know, he loves that bit of life, you know, he's always been like that, he's a bit like Tindari was. You know, he loves life, and it's nice when you have a horse like that, you know. What
would winning a Grand National mean to you, Malcolm?
Well, I suppose it'd be a lovely thing to achieve, won't it? You know, like I've been here 30 years, we've had a lot of nice winners over the years, but we're not a big stable, Tom, and you know, it'd be great. It'd be great for Yorkshire. It'd be great for the Nelsons, because they love. You know, like Peter Nelson never ever thought he would own a racehorse. He started like me with nothing, and he's built himself up. And I think they bought the old mare off through Bob Harmon, you know, and then we've ended up with Pete, and he's took them to places who never have got. Like Annie's wife says, we've gone to places I would never have got him to. You know, and that's true, like, you know, because he's a home bird anyways, Peter. Like his dear holiday really would be to come over here on a Sunday morning and walk around horses, like that's Peter. Getting him away anywhere is very hard work, although with, you know, because our owners, a lot of our owners are our friends, you know, because they've been here that long, and we got him to Dubai 5 times in a row, so in February, you know, but that was, you know, that was hard to do, you know. He likes to be at home, Peter, and he loves his family, and, you know, he's a family man, and he loves his horses.
Wishing you the very best of luck with him, Malcolm.
Thanks, Tom. Cheers.